Oh my god, guys, everybody needs to see this. Hey, wait, let me see the... Wait, yo, let me see that. Yo, Shawn, you better delete this before my girlfriend sees. Guys, what the hell is this? What the hell is this? Oh my god, have you guys seen the pictures of Shawn Mendes? I mean, we just started dating, and if she sees Shawn Mendes, then like, oh my god, we're gonna be over. I know, so she doesn't know what to do about bringing you to like, but Shawn Mendes is broke the platform. And if she sees getting on it, and Shawn Mendes, what am I gonna Shawn Mendes? Shawn Mendes, Shawn Mendes. Oh my god, you guys don't even realize Shawn Mendes. I'd like to think that that's the scene that was happening at Twitter when Shawn Mendes dropped his Calvin Klein ad pics. Just my own interpretation of it. And surprise, surprise, if you did not know what this video was going to be briefly touching on. Briefly. Cause underwear. Yeah, if you didn't know what this, if you... Okay, if you didn't know what this video was gonna be talking about, that's kind of what this video is gonna be like jumping off of. So if you did not know, if you don't have a Twitter or an Instagram, if you live under a rock, some photos of Shawn Mendes and Calvin Klein's like partnership got leaked on Twitter and Instagram, and then he announced or like leaked more photos, like teaser photos of the thing. So that was the whole thing going on. There were people who were acting like this, and this, and that, and this, and those. There was a lot of reactions from a lot of different people, and despite what people I know in real life might say, that's not what I want to talk about in this video. Like, I don't want to just talk about the underwear ad the entire time. I don't know how I could make a video about that. I'm sure someone could or could try, but I'm not that talented, so I'm not gonna do that. That's not what I'm talking about today. I'm gonna be talking about something that, this is gonna sound so stupid because it's like exactly what I did in my earlier video that I just posted, where I want to talk about something that I think is a very interesting topic to observe and that people should think about. And I'd like to start this video with a preface as well, is that I am not an expert on what I'm going to be talking about. I went out, I researched some articles, some psychological studies, I tried to take the information and evidence I was able to from all the different sources I found and put them here and apply them to this situation that I'd like to speak on and speak my opinion on. I'm also not speaking on behalf of anyone but myself. I can't talk for people who participate in like the Calvin Klein ads or anything like that, nor would I want to, because it's their place to talk about that. I know nothing about the business or the stuff that went on behind the scenes or anything. I have no right to talk on that aspect of this. And lastly, I want to clarify that the stuff that I talk about in this video is not an attack on Shawn Mendes and the Calvin Klein ad. I'd also like to add that I'm not attacking a Noah Centrifugal Force or Kendall Jenner or A$AP Rocky, the other people who are in the ad. I just wanted to clarify this because I'd only mentioned Shawn, but this is before the whole advert came out, and now I know who else is in it, so I don't want to attack their decisions either. That is not what I'm trying to do, or speak on their behalfs, or all of that stuff. Why would I attack it? There's no reason to attack it. There's literally no bad intentions coming from that ad partnership. Like, it's completely fine. I'm just using it as a platform to talk about this broader idea that I think is super interesting to look at. Obviously, when you have underwear ads, there's a lot of inherent sexuality about it. So as I mentioned, I filmed this video before the actual ad came out, and I watched it, and there's people just like casually making out in it, so it's a little bit more sexually inherent than maybe some other ads might be. It's definitely there. It's hard for society to take a picture of like a half-naked man or a half-naked woman and not sexualize it in some way. You could speak about whether one is more or less sexualized, and I'm not going to talk about that because I don't think I have the information for that, and that's also not what this video is about. But if you just open Twitter, you see a lot of sexual objectification going on when it comes to the situation with the Calvin Klein ads. And there's been a lot of studies done on the effect of sexual objectification on women's mental health and body image, and I was trying to find some that were more specific towards men, and I wasn't able to find that many studies that had to that researched men. And again, not going to talk about the double standards of sexual objectification with men versus women because I don't have the information to do so, but from what I am able to observe, I think we can all safely say that sexual objectification does have impacts on mental health and body image for both women and men and all other genders that it affects, but it just might show itself in different ways, you know? And sexual objectification is something that has been heavily prevalent in media in the past century, especially like television and movies and marketing campaigns, but there's really no comparison to the way that social media has amplified that objectification. So one thing with social media is that a lot of people think it's super impermanent in passing, but in reality social media is very permanent and can have some like crazy long-term effects, which is not what I'm getting so like tangential. I'm just going everywhere. But one thing that social media does, and you can kind of relate it to the whole idea of objectification, is that, and not even in a sexual manner, just like in a matter of making someone an object, is that it gives celebrities a platform to come across as more personable and more human. But it also gives fans the ability to sort of dehumanize them and make them as like, they're not like humans, like look at them in a way like you're an object, you make stuff, I'm going to project my love onto you, but in a kind of unhealthy, objectifying way. And this is me kind of speaking on like personal things. When I kind of probably still do it, and I used to do it a lot more, where I would take a celebrity and I'd be like, oh my god, look at this is my child, this is my lovely, I love them, let me put my love on them. And it was, looking back on it, it made it seem like they weren't really a person. It was more like me being like, you are an object for me to push and project my emotions and love onto. Take it. So it depends on how you look on it and the situation, but social media can be an emulator for that negative celebrity culture that America and other places in the whole world has going on. And in my opinion, I think social media has weakened interpersonal relationships while you're able to spread yourself like among a much broader place, like, because globalization is absolutely insane. I feel like a lack of face-to-face communication and the ease of which you can like make friends kind of weakens the bonds of friendship. I don't know. Friendship on the internet, I have some really close friends on the internet, but I know I've seen it in other situations where it's like they snap so easily or they're not really I don't know. It's a lot, but I think that while social media has broadened the scope of what you become friends with, it's kind of weakened the connections. That's a whole different thing if you think you can, like, the amount of friends you have and the strength of the friendships do not correlate at all, but I think social media friendships is a little different. And then because of like the weakening of interpersonal relationships, I think there's been a heavier sense of objectification that people can be objected to. I don't my god. I just think it's really interesting to try and observe and analyze the way social media has completely shifted society and our culture as we know it today, and how it either enables or disables different ideas like sexual objectification, just regular objectification, and relationships between people, and like all this stuff. It's absolutely crazy to think about, you know? This is the last disclaimer from Editing Alley, I swear, but after like something happened and my camera stopped filming, so I started again, but the lighting was different. I tried editing it to make it like similar enough. All I could really do is tamper with the exposure, so it looks a little bit different. Just wanted to give you a fair warning, even though you will see I already do that in the video, so yeah. I think the lighting changed. I don't know. My camera stopped recording. I think the lighting changed. I'm not sure. Anyways, the idea is interesting, and I think in particular the situation is interesting to me because of Shawn's demographic. Obviously, he was an artist that was brought up by social media, and a lot of his fame originated in Vine and YouTube, and because of the fact that he did covers and all that. And because of the age at which he started becoming famous, a lot of his fans were young girls then, and they've grown with him, but there's obviously still a lot of younger girl fans now. And I don't mean to say that his demographic should inhibit him from chasing any opportunities that he has now, because he's almost 21. He's an adult. He's definitely an adult. And it's awesome that he's being presented these opportunities, but I also think it's interesting to look at doing something like an underwear ad from someone who is like a former teenage heartthrob and seeing the effects that it has on his demographic, or how it targets his demographic and allows them to experience it. Because I don't think a lot of underwear ads are targeted at like young adults and like almost not teenagers. And you know, that could be a great move for them. Calvin Klein has some cool underwear. Maybe more people will buy it now. Who knows? So that's one thing that's interesting about it from more of like a business marketing standpoint, but also still like a social standpoint. It all gets mixed up together. And I think another thing that's interesting is like, what does sexual, romantic / regular or general objectification have to say about this person who's like perpetrating the objectification? I'm sure that there's some psychological digging that you could do into objectification from the standpoint of the person who's doing the objectifying, but I am not a psychologist. I took one psychology class and I'm not a soft boy, so I don't think I can speak about Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung and like all of this stuff because I took one class. Like I don't have the knowledge to psychoanalyze someone or psychoanalyze a whole group of people as I would be doing. I don't want to do that. I feel like that's super problematic of me to even try or suggest. So now I just want to reiterate and elaborate. That rhymed. Bars. I want to say that I'm not speaking on behalf of anyone. I'm definitely not speaking on behalf of Shawn Mendes on this advertising thing. If you couldn't already tell, I'm not Shawn Mendes. Hi, I'm not Shawn Mendes. If you think back on the point of his old demographic and like that kind of cookie cutter teeny bopper thing that he was almost in, but not really, he never really fit into that because of how he is as an artist and a person. But people tried. And this ad could be super empowering for him. It could be evidence as to how he's growing out of that little mold and becoming an adult and not allowing his like music or demographic or anything to hold him back from doing what he wants to do. But I'm not Shawn Mendes, so I can't say any of that. We wouldn't know what he thinks unless he talked about it, you know? And Shawn, I don't know, man, if you're watching this, you know, maybe we do want to hear your thoughts. You're coming to San Antonio on tour. I live in San Antonio. I'm just saying we could have a casual conversation about this. I could ask you some very hard-hitting questions, like what's your favorite song right now? Or who's your inspiration? Or how you think modern society has impacted the music industry and art as a whole. You know, super casual things that I'm wondering. And the last thing I want to say about this whole thing is that I'm really not trying to come from a place of bad intention. And you know, sometimes people don't mean to come from a place of bad intention and then they do. So if that is the case here, if I have like misinterpreted any of the information that I've gotten from the articles I read, or if I'm saying something that's just wrong, I would like to know. I want to keep in mind the opinions of others. Like I always want to be having an open conversation because I think there's always stuff to learn. Even if you're listening to someone you don't really agree to or someone you super agree to, there's always stuff to learn. And that's what I'd like to do because the last thing I want to do is use this platform to push on inaccurate information onto people, you know? So call me out if you need to. I will try and deal with it accordingly and learn from the situation because we all can learn as people. I want to try and make others learn. I want to keep learning myself all the time. So yeah, that's like the end of this video. I just wanted to talk. I think it's a really interesting topic, and I think the internet, though it can be a bad place that spreads misinformation, it can also be a great place to learn about things, and that's what I'm trying to use it as. If you like this video, you can like it, dislike it, you can do whatever you want. You can comment below, discuss. Please have civil discussions. Like, I don't want any personal attacks to come from this. I said the exact same thing in my last video, but I just want to have civil conversations and like learn things. So if you want to do that, do that. Healthy conversations in the comments. If you'd like to subscribe, then you can. I don't know what kind of videos I'll put out. I'd love to put out more videos like this where I see an example of a situation and then talk about how it relates to a broader issue that I think is interesting and try to learn. I think learning is super awesome, and that's so lame of me. Like, I even have a shirt that says like science is neat. Science is neat, math is neat, learning is neat, everything is neat. But I also might just put on like super stupid things. I think I'm planning on doing a video about e-boys soon, so you have a lot of things to look forward to. Like, I'm just super diverse as a creator. You never know what I'm gonna do next. And once again, Shawn, dude, if you're watching this, hit me up for that interview, dude. San Antonio is waiting. I'm waiting. But I'm not waiting, because I'm not pushing anything onto anyone. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Oh my god, my voice hurts so badly from popping off. But not really popping off, because I wasn't doing it. I don't know. Anyways, I'm leaving. Goodbye. That was so fucking much. That was so much. Okay.